everyone, so today I'm oh my god.
I'll walk back out of the room.
Okay. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be dusting my doll displays. I thought I'd take you guys along and show you a bit of the process in case you can gain any useful information, or maybe if you're just curious. So, let's go. This is like my office slash doll display area slash art room, and that's my sister.
Hello, I'm helping.
Yep, always have to enlist her. So I recently cleaned off my whole desk. This gets really dusty, so these guys are fine over here. But this shelving unit is one of the big problems. Not so much up top, but down here where my Bratzilla's are, it gets really dusty because my cats like to hang out. And then over here in my dollhouse, again, it's kind of the same issue, especially on the bottom. That's where the most fur and dust collects. And I also want to rearrange a few people because I just got these music festival dolls and I want to stand them instead of my rock angels because they have the bigger shoes. And I will not be dusting this shelf. And if you guys want to see a Bratz collection, because I know this shelf is quite the attention grabber, I already have one, just check out my collections and displays playlist. These shelves here don't get very dusty. Like, there's nothing coming off of my finger. So I'm just gonna, at the very end, check these dolls for pop tear elastics. Then into my room. So we recently dusted my American Girl dolls in the cabinets and like their table area, so they're fine. But I do have some pop tear elastics. You can see like Isabel over here is missing one. And I just put those in like 2 weeks ago maybe. I need to dust my little shelf over here. And these are plexiglass. So I'll be using window cleaner on that. And my nightstand should be all set with those dolls because I dust that pretty regularly. This shelf, again, it's not one that gets very dusty, so there's nothing really coming off of my finger. I'm just going to be checking them again for hair elastics, and if something, like if any outfits look dirty or whatnot, I'll do that. This guy over here needs it with my Disney dolls. I will be cleaning my bitty babies off though because this part of the room gets pretty dusty. And then there's this shelf with my Disney and I guess Tall Brats and Moxie Girls. And this bookshelf over here with more Disney people. So these are basically the general supplies that I use. So I just use really cheap furniture polish, which I always spray directly on the rag instead of on the shelf because my mom, who used to clean offices and whatnot, told me that was the best way to use the least amount of product, and also if you use too much of stuff like this, it will actually attract dust. So I have that. I have some combs, a little bowl of just plain water, because what I do is I like to use a dry cloth and I like to wipe the dust off the dolls and then go back with a damp cloth just to catch anything I missed. You don't want to go like right for the damp cloth because what will happen is it will just make mud. 2 like just rags for the furniture polish. And then I have some different elastics and things. So these are clips in case I want to put clips in anyone instead of elastics. Because the thing that I like about using clips is that they don't like dry rot or like break over time. Then I have some rainbow loom bands I'm trying to finish up. And then I have these really cool pretty elastics from the Family Dollar, which considering they were like $1 for 600, they last a while and they look really colorful and cool. So the problem with a lot of factory elastics is that they don't break and flake off. They'll actually dry rot into the doll's hair, and that's what I check for on any dolls with factory elastics to make sure that it's not fusing to their hair and whatnot, because I've had a lot of incidences with that. I check if anyone needs like their hair washed or a new boil wash or a new flat iron treatment. I check to see if anyone's clothes are dirty or need to be repaired. I wipe down all of the stands. I wipe down the dolls themselves. I brush everyone's hair out because that will like loosen any dust. I obviously dust the shelves themselves. And that's about it. That's about what I do. So we're gonna start in here with this shelf. I've already done the Rapunzel and Princess and the Frog dolls, as well as my assorted shelf. I actually tried filming it, but it didn't really work out because it's so high up and my tripod.
I kept knocking the tripod over and dropping things and stuff.
So we're gonna move on to these 2 shelves of Moxie Girls. And in case you're wondering why my Moxie Girls are split up between 2 rooms, is because they're the only ones that fit on this short shelf. So it just makes more sense to split them up. So we're going to take them all off one by one. Get them like on my art desk here, check for elastics, wipe them down, etc. That's what I mean about the elastics. They've kind of turned color and they're starting to crumble. A lot of them actually just the elastic broke on them. And sometimes like my handmade earrings need repair, so. I'm just going to take my rag, spray it, and wipe. And I actually put contact paper on these shelves when I repainted them, so the dust comes off really nicely. And it's good to check like in the corners for like any cobwebs or anything. And I do one shelf at a time, so I'm not overwhelmed, because if I dismantled the entire unit, it would be crazy.
And make sure to do the legs on people with like really bare legs.
Yeah, especially
if they were sitting, like Lexa.
The bend and snap legs, like see, her legs don't bend. This kind of plastic that's hard doesn't attract as much dust as the like rubbery kind that is like the bend and snap legs. And so I'm just wiping her down dry, and now just wiping her down damp.
Bria's Elastics Factory. Looks good.
And then we'll sit people on the floor or
on the
over here in front of
desk.
the computer. And there you have it. Everyone is back home, clean and happy. So, while I was dusting, I came across a few dolls that had some dirty outfits. And this is just a Superstar Barbie dress that a Superstar Barbie I got at the flea market this weekend was wearing that needed to be cleaned. But there really weren't that many, and most of these, like this and this, I don't even know if I ever washed, because I've had this for a long time and this for a long time, and I didn't always remember to wash things back in the day. And I'm not really sure what was on Lexa's shirt, but something got on it. Okay, and these are the Bratz clothes that needed to be washed. So this is on a different day from the other load of laundry that I showed you guys, but from all like 700 of my Bratz dolls that I looked at and dusted and stuff, these are the only clothes that needed to be washed. And they're all pretty much white items, and they're very random. So this might not directly have to do with dusting, but I need to rearrange some of my American Girl dolls, because in the time that I've been cleaning all of my doll displays, I ended up getting 2 more American Girl dolls, Maya and Caroline, so they needed a place in my room to sit on my childhood bunk bed. So me and my sister each had bunk beds like this growing up, and my sister's was pink and mine was white, and honestly this is so gross looking. I don't even know if the camera is capturing this, but over the years it has gotten like this really nasty yellow color.
Get the side where there's that brown thread.
Yeah, and then like that's nasty. I don't know what that is, and I actually already cleaned it. It's just discolored from age, because it was in our basement, and our basement used to look like an episode off Hoarders. This was down there with the matching bunk bed, which I don't have anymore. I think that was mine. It broke. Like, I think this top bunk like broke and it actually cracked in half, and my dad never got to fix it while he was still alive. And when I was cleaning out the basement by myself a few years ago, I just threw it away because there was no way I could fix it, and I still feel really bad that I had to do it, but we have this one and I want to use it in my room. So I'm going to paint it, and I have this spray paint that my dad bought a long time ago. What's the color? It's celery. So my dad spray painted, when he built me these shelves, he spray painted this joint thing that holds it, the bracket, and that's the color. So it's like this, you know, light green color to match, you know, the walls in my room and stuff. Okay, so I'm back with the bunk bed. This turned into one huge mess of a project. Of course, I couldn't just paint the bed and leave it at that. I ended up deciding to make bedding and paint designs on the bed just to make it extra spiffy. Long story short, basically something happened with the spray paint I used. I ended up having to get a different can of spray paint that was a slightly different color. That the other spray paint was old, and even though it seemed to be painting fine, when I went to spray a little bit of like sealer on the designs I had hand painted with acrylic paint, it reacted with one of the solvents or something in the paint, and it basically bubbled and wrinkled, and I ended up having to sand the entire bed again and repaint the whole thing again. So this is the old bedding that my grandmother had made, that's why I have it out here. And my grandmother was really talented at sewing, but I don't really think the blankets match the angel print, which matches the pillow, which is really nice. It has lace, but they've kind of gotten like worn from age anyways. So it was just good to make something new anyways that would match my room. Da-da-da! This is what the beds look like now. You can see it is still a light green color, but it's slightly less gray toned. It's actually this stuff. This is Seaside Green, and unfortunately I couldn't find it in like a gloss, but that's okay because I ended up buying some spray paint sealer, and one of my Flickr friends commented on my painting doll stands video, and she suggested that I use this stuff because it's a little bit cheaper and I really like it, so thanks Cheryl. That was a very good tip if you're watching this. And I hand painted these little designs, and I made my own little stencils. I basically drew out the size heart I wanted, and then I like folded the paper over and cut out two so they were perfectly even. You can see there's one down there, and then I'm not a seamstress, I'm just learning how to use a sewing machine. I'm teaching myself, I'm making things up as I go along, but I made this mattress for each bunk, and it's got 2 layers of batting, and both of these materials are flannel, so it kind of matches better, and I double layered the blanket so when I folded it over you could still see the butterflies. And the pillow is double-sided so I could reverse it, ignore my ugly stitching. So I just set it up really quickly. But this is Amber, and she says she likes the bed. We've gotten a thumbs up from Amber. And then Maya's down here taking a nap. Hey everyone, so we're back. I am done dusting and maintaining all of my doll displays. We're gonna start here in this room. So I deep cleaned everything. Like if you look around you can actually see that there is some new stuff in this room because it's been that long. So you can see all of these dolls on this shelf. And you'll notice it almost looks like I have less Bratz dolls, or maybe not to some people, but there's bigger gaps, and that's because every time I dust or reset the shelves, I pack them in, like repack them in, so it makes more space. What I did to dust these is I would do about half of a shelf, and I would do the same process that I showed you earlier, and then I'd put them back, and then I'd do the other half, because to take one of these entire shelves off is like really daunting, and I did it all by myself while my sister was at work, so I spent like an entire day doing my Bratz dolls. And I even cleaned my Little Ponies. And you can see I did stand the music festival dolls back here, and I sat some Rock Angels. And on that top shelf you'll see that my Snow Kiss dolls are now standing, as are my Fierce Fitness dolls. Once again, I did this shelf too, and part of why I decided to do the Bratz dolls is A, I just have this like compulsive need to clean, and I couldn't stand the idea of not doing them too, and B, a lot of the hair elastics had popped, and some of these dolls have really intricate hairstyles, and the little like elastic crumbs would like get behind the dolls, and I did notice a little, like the teeniest bit of dust on their shoes, and I was like, nope, gotta dust. There are some new faces, Funk and Glow Jade, since I filmed. And these Disney shelves are once again more or less the same, but look, what is this? Is this the bunk bed? So even though Amber is wearing the pajamas, I promised Kit that she'd sit here because she wasn't happy about moving out of the cabinet. It's like almost a perfect match to my wall. Like it couldn't be any better, and it's really cute. I just hope my cats don't sleep on this lower bunk, because they did that when I had Josephina's sleigh bed out for a while, and that's why it wasn't out anymore, so I'm really hoping that they don't do that. And you'll also notice they've changed clothes. I changed my American Girl doll seasonally, so. And they're clean, and I washed the floors. I mean, I went all out. I like cleaned like my light fixtures and took all the cobwebs down if there were any. I mean, I do that stuff regularly anyways, but you know, I like to do it all. And I vacuumed my Hope chest off. When you have cats, you have to do that. And then these guys are all pretty much the same, as are these guys, but once again, I did clean them all. And then Maya is new, and so is Caroline. And once again, so Kit used to be here, now Caroline's there. And I even cleaned out like by my knickknacks and stuff. And then my Snow White dolls are all set. And this shelf, which gets really dusty super fast. I also did clean like my nightstand off and all of that, where those dolls were. And if you're wondering where Penny went, Penny's just in my closet for now. And what's cool about the bedding I made over here, you'll see that that's green. And I didn't even mean for this to happen, but my bedding is like almost the same on the reverse, so it like just happens to match. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope that this video helped you out, maybe gave you some ideas on how to maintain your doll displays, or how to dust them, or maybe like how to decorate them. Until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.